nandito po ako sa nakikinig lang po sa mga ano po dito. Nakikinig po tayo sa mga climate change po. Climate change lobby.
We have to make it work. We have to protect the gains in Washington State. And we have to
California
work with
only.
other leading edge climate states.
So,
I'm going to give you 3 things you can do. So I passed 9 climate bills. I'm very proud of that. 9 climate bills.
wow.
I don't do this rally every year. We've walked out about low carbon cement. We've walked out about emissions from cows and cattle and
Yan po, yung dito tayo nakikinig lang.
and cow farts and what we're doing about that. We geeked out about every piece of electrification, everything we're going to do.
So parang ito,
So
ano
3
po,
things you can do.
nagrarally
Get
po ito
involved.
dito.
Number 1, get involved locally. We've got a lot of important
Parang
races.
ano po to
Nicole
kasi sa...
Fernandez right here running for city council in San
Yeah,
Mateo.
ito po, parang nagraran po ito ng mga politician po. Parang ano, kasi sa election po, di ba? Parang nagrarally
My
po.
business of the year from Reach and Teach. Craig, how are you? Say hi to everybody.
So,
So
yan po.
to support climate candidates
Kasi, tingnan,
locally, number 1. Number 2,
yan po.
show up at the city council meetings.
Climate
I heard
change.
that Burlingame,
Ito,
you guys can correct me, Peter, is about to put reach codes at the council meeting. This is, are we going to embrace these all-electric new building codes? Are we going to embrace building of the future? That's going to be determined. Okay, I will agree with that. Okay, but you can show up at the city council meetings. And then number 3, just spread,
yan po.
spread your wings, spread your nationwide. Make some phone calls for Kamala Harris. I was canvassing in Reno 2 weekends ago for Kamala Harris. I was canvassing in Pennsylvania last week for Kamala
Ano
Harris.
nga po,
So make
sa-
phone calls.
ito Democratic po. Kasi California kasi po Democratic. So,
The Democrats at a national level because
oo po ako sa climate change po.
we're right at this precipice. We got incredible work happening, and we're either going to keep moving forward, or we're
Yan
going to
po,
go back. We're going to go back.
sustainable sa Mateo County.
Let's hear it. We're not
Yan po.
going back. We're not
Going back.
We're not going
Narally nga po
Let's embrace
dito.
the future. Thank you very much. Thank you all for being here. Thanks for doing this.
Wow. Nandito po tayo sa ito. Ayun po. Climate change.
Yeah, he's like our celebrity. He's like a celebrity. All right, so incredible. Next up, we have a student speech by a CCL group
Yan po.
member. This
Tingnan
is
po
a
yan.
student who's been with us for many months now,
Peninsula
very
Clean
engaged in
Energy
our
po.
group, and he always comes to our meeting with so much energy and ready to contribute his knowledge about climate change and climate action.
Mama
Next up, we have
Candy,
Shai Ring,
Reverend
who is a
Candy.
junior at Burlingame High School. Please help me welcome him to the stage.
Thank you, Kayla. Kayla's a super inspiring group lead. She's motivated me to write this speech, to come here today, and to help organize this rally for you all. So I just have a couple words.
Can I borrow? Okay?
Good afternoon, everyone. Is everyone having a good time? Thank you, me too. What an amazing
Ito
and
po,
empowering
meron
speech,
tayo
by the way,
dito.
from Senator Becker. Can we all give him another round of applause? It's such a relief that my local legislators care about the issue of climate change as much as I do. I'm relatively new to the field of environmental activism, but
Yan
so
po.
far I found that policymakers such
po
as
yung
Senator
ating-
Becker help make our fight
Can I
feel
put the
real.
point here?
Together, we can make it
I
real.
got in there.
My name is Shai Ring, and
So
I'm
thank
17
you.
years old. I'm ecstatic to be one of your student organizers for this rally, and it's been a long time coming.
So, yan po,
But
nakapag
you know what?
fill
It's
up po
been a
tayo
long time
dito
coming
sa
for a lot
ano.
of things. Permitting reform, which would allow the clean energy projects we need to be built sooner before it's too late. A price on carbon, a bipartisan economic solution in which polluters finally pay for their carbon pollution.
Kuha tayo ng candy po.
Healthy and urban forests where the natural power of trees, plants, and ecosystems
Dito po
is
tayo sa
harnessed as a
popsicle.
solution. building electrification, which would cut down our dependencies on fossil fuels across the country. It's about time that we implement these solutions. But we can't currently rely on our divided country and political systems. We can, however, rely on you all. Thank you for showing up here today. We really appreciate it.
Yes, tignan po yan.
The effects of climate change are ever more present as I stand here, and we are all helping to mitigate them. In a 174-year record of temperature, the 10 hottest years have all occurred during the last decade. Of the 10 most destructive wildfires here in California, 7 of them have occurred during the last decade. But has nothing smart occurred to our federal policymakers in the last decade? Has nothing moral occurred to oil and gas billionaires in the last decade? It certainly occurs to me that we are the future of our state, our nation, and our world. And that begins with us gathered here today, making a stand for the climate, making hope for the next generation, making progress, making community. We're making it real. Thank you.
Ayan po. Sana hindi tayo makapiright nito, no?
That was amazing, Shai. Good job. That was very passionate. Well, I'd just like to introduce Mary. She is a council member of Pacifica, and she's also the former mayor. She's also the commissioner of Pacifica Parks, Beaches, and Recreation. Personally, I met her through an after-school organization that she created called Be the Change Coalition, where she teaches and encourages youth to initiate change to better their community. Yeah, she's an amazing person. I love her. Please welcome Mary Beard to the stage.
Good afternoon, everyone. What a blessing it is for me to be here today. And Laura, thank you so much.
Ito po
I want you to
yung
understand that you have been inspiring me since you were a
parang
freshman.
rally po to.
So thank you for all of your tireless work that you do for not only our school community, but the community at large. Thank you so much. So yes, my name is Mary Beer. I'm a council member in the city of Pacifica. I'm also the director of alcohol and other drug services at the Daly City Youth Health Center, and I oversee the Be the Change Youth Coalition in Jefferson Union High School District. And I say all of that because everything that you're doing here today affects everybody, right? And so when I'm sitting up on council, I affect the entire community. And when my young people are coming in front of council, they also affect the entire community. It's your voices that matter the most. And again, I'm so grateful to be here. So in Pacifica, we have the Pacific Beach Coalition, and they're like kind of famous. And they have been cleaning our beaches and our neighborhoods for decades now. And they picked up thousands and thousands, probably millions of pounds of trash and thousands of cigarette butts, and they keep things from going from our streets into our oceans. We are super lucky to have agencies and folks like that who care so much about our environment, just like you do. In Pacifica, we are just starting to update our climate action and adaptation plan, and let me tell you, it's been a long time coming. It's almost embarrassing how long it's been since we've updated that plan. And so we have a task force of community members who are doing that work, and that is where the plan needs to come from, right from our community. And so we're really excited about that. I'm hoping that some of the members of our task force have reached out to you, and if they haven't, then come to me and we'll make sure that happens, because your voices need to be around the table. We cannot, as policy makers, pass policies that directly affect you without your voices at the table. So, I feel very passionately about that. And I also feel very passionately about you. I've been working with young people over 20 years in San Mateo County. And I've seen a lot of trends and issues that have triggered substance use in our young people. Just in the last 5 years alone, right? Climate change, we have racism, a political discourse, all these things. There's so many things. COVID, right? All these things that have happened that have created anxiety. But at the top of the list is climate anxiety, and it's real. And I see it all the time in the young people that I get to work with directly and indirectly. And so I want you to understand that the work that you are doing here today by being of service to each other, to us, to the earth, you're actually creating opportunities for healing, for young people to move through the intense feelings of climate anxiety and into action. And that action is where hope is created. And that's what I have felt today, is hope. And when there's hope, we can move out, push out the fear. So action brings us hope, which gets rid of that fear. And that's what you've given to me today. You've given me hope today. And you know, hope doesn't mean that we're just waiting for changes. We have to
Sabot na po tayo
actually
kahapon. Sinin
get
natin
up
ating
and do the changes.
ano po,
It's like fighting
yung
for the
ating
long shot,
voters
right? We have to
ballot
get
po
in the
kahapon ay
trenches.
na sin na po
We all
natin
know
ating
that the
voters.
best time for change was many, many, many years ago. But the next best thing is to start right where we are. So with the next breath, I'm gonna dig a little deeper. Love a little kinder, live a little sweeter, and help you to keep, I'm sorry, I feel emotional because I'm so proud to be here today. We have an opportunity to keep taking care of each other and keep taking care of our planet. So thank you so much for everything you do and for having me here today.
Nakapag-vote na po tayo kahapon po. Na-submit na po natin yung
Thank you so
ating
much for that speech. That
so
was
ito po
amazing. Can we
kasi
give it up one more
democratic
time for
po
Mary Beer?
yung California.
All right, so the next person who's going to speak, she means a lot to our youth group. She's a co-lead with us. She's absolutely amazing. She's incredibly passionate and caring about everyone in our group. Can we please give it up for Lara? Hi everyone, thank you so much. My name is Lara Scanciani Grijalvo. I'm 17 years old and I'm a senior in high school. I love to run, write, listen to music. I like to sail. But when I tell you that I'm worried, that I am scared, that I am angry, I say it with complete and brutal honesty. Because in the midst of an apparent doomed climate crisis, we have tools to fight it, to reduce global emissions. I want you to think about a carbon fee and dividend. That would mean that the same institutions that tell me that climate change is in my hands because I can recycle would have to pay a price for the fossil fuels that they are extracting. And the money collected from these industries would be distributed to every household in the form of a monthly check. It's been predicted that in just 20 years, a law like a carbon fee and dividend would reduce CO2 emissions by 50% from the levels in the 1990s. We're talking about halving CO2 emissions in the United States. But you're telling me that laws like a carbon fee and dividend can't happen because of
Dito tayo
political
kay
division,
medyo malamig-lamig.
because you won't be reelected, because your constituents don't want it.
So,
Meanwhile, we want you to know that last summer was the warmest on record, that hurricanes have become more frequent and more disastrous, that the glaciers are retreating and that the Sahara Desert has flooded. I am sick of being told to throw away my garbage when you can't throw away yours. The youth are tired of the anticipation of cleaning up a mess that must be cleaned up now. This rally is about making it real. You may not be affected by climate change, but your children will, and their children, and the children after that. Look at me in the eye and tell me that you do not care. This rally is about youth for youth, because the youth must band together. Lawmakers and legislators cannot refuse the masses of youth whose futures are at risk. It's okay to be scared, and I want you to know that you are not alone. But I also want you to know that together we can and must make a difference. That together we can make it real. Thank you so much. Now that I'm done with that, I'm going to be introducing, we're going to have Adam Lorraine come and speak. So thank you so much, everyone. Adam Lorraine is the San Mateo City Council member. And yeah, we're going to have them come up. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's a pleasure and a privilege to be with you for the 4th annual, and I believe I've made it to each one, so thank you for continuing to invite me. My name is Adam Lorraine. I happen to be on City Council for our city here of San Mateo. Thank you for coming and having your event here in our city. I also happen to be on some boards representing folks in the city of San Mateo for Rethink Waste, which handles our waste management, solid waste, and recycling efforts, and Peninsula Clean Energy, which I hope you all have heard about and are thinking is the greatest thing ever. If you haven't heard of it, I'll tell a little bit more about it. But it's a pleasure to be here to talk a little bit about what it means to make climate action real in San Mateo specifically. I think when I was in high school, that would have been a bigger challenge because we had a whole lot of days like this that seemed really wonderful, and San Mateo is a wonderful place to live. But I think in 2024, it's pretty real around us already, isn't it? Right? Anyone smell smoke in the air this morning? I know I did. And of course, we've had a number of events right around this time in previous years, and we're maybe anxiously looking at the calendar and the weather to see whether we were going to get to have our event because there might be too much smoke in the air to be healthy. And of course, we've been hearing about hurricanes. We had Diablo winds, the threat of power shutoffs. Climate change is here today. It's impacting everyone today. But there are also solutions that are happening today that I hope we can take heart, get a feeling of hope that Mary mentioned, and know that all is not lost and that what we do today will make a difference for today and for tomorrow. How many people have taken a ride on a fully electric cow train recently? This is a big deal. And not only is it no longer powered by diesel, but it's powered by clean electricity from Peninsula Clean Energy. So this is a big change, and there are more big changes that we can work on together if we just give it our best. So I have a few advice points that I'm going to try to read so I don't miss anything important. But to boil it down, I'm thinking, find your passion in sustainability, because sustainability isn't everything, and what you want to do is figure out what really is making you get up in the morning every day, whether it's transportation, water conservation, many other things. Find what you're passionate about and give it all you've got. Then learn what's going on around you locally. When you're thinking globally, you can still act globally. See what's going on at your local government and connect the dots. Then I want you to make sure you vote in November for climate action, okay? So finding your passion, I think, is something that is the easiest one out of these three. A lot of you are here today. You may already be familiar with Citizens Climate Lobby Youth.
Dito po ako, nakikinig lang po ako dito. Sana hindi po ito makapiright kasi wala naman po music. Para po ma-share ko po ito sa ating mga kababayan po na yung pagtatapon po ng basura sa karagatan o sa kalsada
When I was in high school and college, I started seeing movies like An Inconvenient Truth, started reading books on sustainable capitalism, and seeing articles about the climate change challenge and what we're going to need to do to help solve it. And then I started going to local meetings for Sierra Club, right here in San Mateo, at Reach and Teach, back when they were in San Mateo. And I started going to citizens climate lobby meetings and other
So,
environmental
hanggang
groups
dito
in our
na
city
lang.
and county to get us
Hanggang dito
in
na
what
lang
felt
po
right
ako.
and could fit
Nakikinig,
well for me.
nakikinig lang po ako sa
Then I
rally na
started
to
hearing
tungkol
in those
sa
meetings that
kasi nandyan
where
po
the
ito
change could be made, where we could make it real
itong
here in San
pinagsasabi
Mateo
po nila
was
yung
at City
climate
Hall.
change po
And so I started going
ay
to
nandito po ito ngayon
Sustainability
sa
and
bago.
Infrastructure Commission meetings
Kaya para
because
po
we have one
malaman
of
po
those
natin
every
kung
month.
ano po.
And
Kaya
at City
parang
Council,
tama
right,
po
we have
yung
City
aking
Council
pinuto.
meetings twice a month. And they
Nakabuto
talk
po
about
tayo
things like
ng
federal
climate change.
planning
So,
for the entire city for
sorry po,
20-year
wala tayong
periods
tap, no?
in
Saka
which
wala
we're
tayong
asking
lipstick.
for local input.
So,
And maybe
napapanood ko po.
we want
So,
a
ito po kasi
sustainable
yung
future,
binoto ko
right?
kahapon.
So we want to be
So,
sure we
salamat
give
po
our
sa
input,
lahat ng
have
ngayon
our
po
voices
ay
be heard whenever the
narinig
city
po
is
natin
making a
kung ano
decision
po
point
yung
that
mga
impacts.
sinasabi. So,
One
tama
of the
po.
first ones that I did
Kasi
when I was
yung
younger was come to City
huli ko
Council
pong
and ask for us, the city of San
pinilapan po
Mateo,
ay
to
puro
become a
yes
part
po
of
ako doon,
Peninsula
puro
Clean
oo.
Energy, which, if you haven't heard, is our electricity
So,
provider
ngayon
now
po
in the city of
ay
San Mateo and in the county. The county of
mayroon
San
din po
Mateo,
akong
all 20
hindi,
cities
pero mas
agreed
nakarami
to
din po ako
stop
ng
buying electricity
mga
from
oo.
PG&E
So,
because
yan
it
po.
wasn't
So,
renewable
hanggang dito
enough,
na
it
lang po
wasn't
tayo.
green
Maraming
enough
salamat
enough.
po
They were
sa
still
inyo
drawing too
pong
many
panunood.
sources
So,
from
nandito po
fossil
tayo
fuels.
sa park.
So the county
Yan
decided,
po.
let's buy our
Park
own
po yung
electricity on the
ating
open market in California from
ano po,
solar,
ating
wind,
side
geothermal,
park. As
to make
usual po,
a product
nandito
that's
po ako
completely
palagi.
greenhouse gas free.
So, yan,
And everybody
sana
who's opting in,
ay
or even if you don't
hindi
opt
ito
out,
makapiright
gets at least
kasi
50% renewable
nakikinig lang po ako
electricity.
para
And
ma-share
Lawrence
ko rin
sort of
po
touched
sa
on it
ating
when we
mga
were talking about
kababayan.
the impact.
Yan po ang ganda po.
Since
ng
2016,
ating,
1.2 million metric tons of
nakaupo po tayo
green
dito sa
carbon
lilim
emissions
ng
have been
puno ng
removed
ano po.
thanks to switching our cities to Peninsula Clean Energy. That's like
Nakikinig po tayo dito. Maraming salamat po sa inyong pag-tambay. Shout out po sa lahat ng aking mga minamahal mga subscribers, sa viewers, sa mga mga OFWs, kaibigan team, bigyan shout out po at saka hanggang dito na lang po tayo. Maraming salamat at isi-share ko po ito sa inyo, hindi ko po to. So yan po, kasi ito po yung ganda po ng background po natin, di ba yan?
Air conditioning, stoves
Yeah.
that use natural gas today, but we can convert them to electricity. We have the technology. We just need to make it affordable and cost effective and easy.
Yan po.
I'm going to need your help to do that in the city of San Mateo.
Guys.
Okay, we have a
Ito na,
program
shout out
called
na lang po
Electrify
sa inyong
San
lahat.
Mateo.
Thank you
We got
so much.
started
I
at the
love you
beginning of
guys.
the year. We had people come out and say, we want you to do what you can, because if we can invest money now, it'll then having to figure out what to do in the future. So the more that we can do today, the more impact we can make for a better tomorrow.
Right.
We have reach codes. That's what got us started. I'm thankful to have been a part of some of the reach codes that we put into place. It's allowed us to say as a city, when you develop new buildings, new homes, new office buildings in our city, they need to be all electric. So starting us off on the electric path is vitally important. There was recently a court decision that made that a little more difficult. Some of you may have heard of it. But we just recently had a meeting at City Council where we started talking about the alternatives. And I wanted to make sure that City Council pursued what it could with regard to building performance standards, any legal way to make sure we're pushing away from fossil fuels and toward emissions-free energy sources in our buildings.
So guys, ito po yung pinag-aanohan ko dito yung tungkol po sa climate change. Kasi yan po talaga yung inaano ni Biden, si President Biden po at saka ni Vice President Kamala Harris po sa kanilang election. Yung tungkol po sa climate change. Tingnan po yung sobrang init, tingnan po yung mga yung hurricane po na nasa Florida na dalawang hurricane po na sunod-sunod. Thank you. Love you guys. Thank you.
Here.
So
It looks like
much.
you're studying how to get there. Can we please move it this way for our future?
you.
That's the kind of input that we're going to
I
need
love
if we
you.
can make it
Bye-bye
real
po.
and make a difference together. Okay, finally.